This is CHSR 97.9 FM here in Fredericton, New Brunswick, Canada. This is Python's Paradise, your film and music show, and this is your host, Greg Gilbert, aka the Python Hyena. And folks, I have a lovely, beautiful woman on the phone with me today. We're going to talk about some interesting films, especially in the independents. We have Katherine Norland on the phone. How you do, Katherine?
Hi, I am doing great. What a name you have. Python what?
Hyena.
That's great.
Well, I like African wildlife, but I've always loved snakes. I've always had a fondness for snakes. And I like the spotted hyena. I like all kinds of animals, but those two kind of suit me best.
Love it.
Yeah. Well, it's good.
I'd be compared to husky dogs because they're the dog that has the most predominant trait of having two different colored eyes. So whenever somebody notices that I have heterochromia iridis, I joke around and say, yes, I'm part husky.
You know what's interesting? When of course Steve Joyner was the one that connected us together. He brought that up to me. You know, I said, "Did you see her eyes?" And I'm like, "Yeah, they two different colors." But I guess you just confirmed it.
Mhm. Yeah, a lot of times people think I'm just doing that for attention or on purpose. I hated it growing up. I just wanted to fit in.
Well, how now? I don't know anything about this. You're the first person I've encountered that's had this. How does this happen?
I probably should research the science behind it, the genetics. I don't know. I haven't researched it. I read once that it happens to 1 in every 8 million people.
Oh.
And I had somebody come up to me last Saturday I was reading a couple poems at a spoken word event, and they said they studied it in college, and it had to do, I think, with Greek mythology, and they said people with two different colored eyes were demigods, and he was going on, really puffing me up. But I don't really know the genetics behind it, the mutation or whatever.
Okay. Well, I was wondering if you'd give us a little bit of your background.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I live in Los Angeles, California, and I moved here many years ago to start an acting career. Before that, I was living in Minnesota. I didn't really have much going on there, to be honest. But once I realized I wanted to move to LA, 6 hours after I drove into town, I had my first audition. So I really got things off with a bang. I've had probably 600 or 700 auditions since then. I've been in well over 100 projects, mostly independent films. Most of them have never seen the light of day, but there have been a few that have. And probably about 10 years ago, I started making my own projects as well because I felt very limited by the things that I was being sent out to audition for and the roles I was getting. So I decided to take matters into my own hands, and I started writing screenplays and short films and things like that. And now, today, I've authored 2 books, and I just finished the 17th rewrite of a thriller film that I hope to produce next year. I just executive produced a film that is a apocalyptic horror western that's called Cannibal Corpse Killers, that deals with The Walking Dead. And I'm in development with a couple other films as well.